Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing good. Today, I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite subjects, love. For those of you that follow me and know me, I split my time up between Arizona and Chicago. Chicago's always going to be my baby, you know that. But I do live in Arizona. And so I go back and forth a lot to Chicago monthly, bi-monthly. Check the schedule, you'll get all of that. But that's not what this is about today. Today is about me living in Arizona. And for those of you that know how incredibly hot it gets here, we've had a gruesome summer and as much as 122 degrees to 124 degrees. So it's been really hot. So when you live in Arizona, having a pool is a necessity. It's not a luxury. With that said, we have a wonderful, wonderful man, and he's a young boy, and he could probably be my son. He's about 26 years old, and I have so much respect for him. His name is Marcus, and he's done a beautiful job that he has put a pool into our yard and has done it, and just we are so grateful for that. We've waited a long time to have it. We finally did it. But interesting enough, he's worked a lot with my husband and I. And when I was in Chicago, he was working with my husband and getting the loose ends all tied up with the pool. And when I came back from Chicago, he had called me up and we went over some things. And he says, I got to say something. Can I say something off the record? And I said, sure, Marcus. And he says, I've noticed something with you and your husband. And I says, what? He says, you guys have old love. I started to laugh and I said, old love, what does that mean? He said, you guys have the recipe and you aspire me to be the way you are with your husband, because he's married and he has two beautiful children. And I just loved when he said that. It was such a beautiful compliment, but he meant it. He goes, seriously, he doesn't miss a trick. And he says, I watch you and your husband. The whole time you were in Chicago, all he kept talking about was, this pool's got to be for Susan. She's got so much on her plate and what she goes through, and I want this to be more of a sanctuary for her. We wait a long time to do it. Everything was Susan, Susan, Susan. He goes, I couldn't believe it. He goes, he just got more excited the more he talked about you. And he said, then he was also a little crabby. And I said, he was. He goes, well, not to me, but I could tell. He never once said, oh, I miss my wife. I wish she was here. But I could tell he was a different person with you being in Chicago. And so it made me smile. It made me feel nice that somebody noticed it enough to say that to me. I don't normally get a lot of that. I get always that I have a wonderful husband, and I do. But I thought this was very profound for him to say that. He said, I call your love old love because I don't see it hardly ever. And it got me thinking. And I was even talking to my good friend Kendra. And Kendra G says to me, Susan, I think you should address this on your YouTube. So I did. I'm doing it now. But, what's interesting is it's the foundation that needs to be created, because we all are in love. And we all are on top of the world. But what I've noticed about today is that people are not taking the time to truly do the work. You can have an argument and learn from the argument. Be sympathetic, be kind. Maybe you did fly off the handle. Or maybe you should think, okay, my partner's acting nuts. My partner's acting crazy. But then stop and think, why is my partner acting like that? What did I do to get my partner there? Talk through it. My husband was always self-employed. He's now retired. And when he had his career, I supported him completely. And I did. And he provided for us, and he was just very good at what he did. He worked very hard, though. I always say self-employed people probably work the hardest, because if you don't create this stuff, you don't eat. So my husband was always working 7 days a week. Then when I started to come out publicly, it was my husband's turn to support me. And it was very, very important. People go, oh, well, he's retired. I'm like, no, he does a lot for me. He does. He manages my social media. He does a lot of things for me. But it's not about that. It's about him taking the time to support me, just as I supported him throughout his career of 36 years. The give and take in a relationship is huge. And being able to facilitate that between each other is even better. You know, when you get married, I tell people all the time, it's going to be a lot of hard work. And I want you to understand that. It is not easy. There's going to be some bad days and there's going to be some great days. And you're going to have fights and everything. Now, I'm not telling people to stay with their spouses if they're alcoholics and you can't take it, or they have this, or they're abusing you. No, no, no. This is not what this video is about. This video truly is, like Marcus had stated, old love. The love that means you stay, you do the work, and you set the foundation to support each other. And I don't see it. Your marriage should not be a competition. So if you're making more money than the other, that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because I always think you're partners, you're one. That's when you take your vows, you become one. So whatever happens with one partner and something's really going good for that one, be happy for that partner, because your turn will come. And if that partner remembers how well you supported them, then it's your turn to be supported. So there's a lot of things, but setting up that foundation is key to the success of the relationship constantly growing. Many times I hear a lot of people going, I'm not going to do that, you do it. I'm not going to do this, you do it. Who cares? Just go do it. Do it. You know, I remember, when whoever's making money, it's our money. It's not, well, this is her money in her account and this is his money and this is this. You know what? Do it together. Grow together. Grow together as a family. If your spouse is having a problem with something, sit with him, talk with him, figure out the solution. Don't leave him alone where he has to go to so many other people because you're not the one doing it. If my husband went to somebody else and didn't come to me, I would be really hurt. I really would. But then that would tell me, well, what is it that I'm doing wrong that he can't come to me? Think about that. So understanding that you need to be there and you need to love them. This is how a relationship grows throughout the years. Like I said, there's going to be times you're going to look and say, my God, what did I even see in him? What did I see in her? I'm so mad. But you know what? And then you look 2 seconds later and says, my God, I can't live without him. I can't live without her. She's my rock. He's my strength. Old love. Seriously, it's going to be 37 years I have been with my husband. That's a long time. I'm not far away from 40 years. But that took work. People go, what's the secret? The secret is to have respect for each other. And the secret is to be there for each other. Not just love each other, but support each other. That is everything. And not be selfish. Don't have selfish love. That's going to be everything. Also remember this, you have children. Your children are watching you. If you're tender with your partner, you're teaching your children to do the same thing. But if you're going to be belligerent and disrespectful and say, well, I don't know, figure it out, do it, you're on your own. You're teaching your children to do the same thing one day when they have a partner. I look at children that have healthy relationships, and I do believe that that was because of their parents and what they were watching. And I always tell parents, your children are watching you. They are sponges. So set the example of honest, healthy love. I use the word healthy love because it's very important. Healthy love is everything, whether it's through your spouse, it's through your children. Healthy love is everything. But the reward is even greater when you can sit there and really show that, and you get so much back in a healthy way. So the foundation is everything. Supporting each other is everything. And just loving who they are. Because when they are really good people, you know what? They're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I certainly am not. But you know what? My husband is perfect for me. And I know that I'm perfect for him. Are we perfect people? No, not at all. But for each other, we are. Old love. So, do you see yourself getting old with your partner and still having that excitement for your partner, that respect for your partner? That's everything. And if you don't, you need to work on it. All right? So, thank you, Marcus. I love you. Thank you so much for that beautiful compliment. And it really got me thinking. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. So, think about your relationship. Put the work into it. you chose this partner, then think. And seriously, before you get married, think hard. Is this the person for me? Is this the person that I am going to grow old with? Think of all of that, because this is going to be really, really relevant to how you treat each other from now until you pass. All right? Hope this gave you food for thought. Please have a very blessed week. Subscribe to Facebook, Instagram, and my favorite, YouTube. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.